channel, Kaputy Inc. Today's amazing, educational, inspirational, and downright beautiful video. Shop tour. Kaputy Inc. Shop tour. Gonna be second to pretty much all of them. But hey, you're here, so you might as well watch. Let's get kicking. Alright, you might have seen this in another video. Now it's in full use. So we'll kind of go over what I got here. This is extreme garage shelving from Menards. It's 17 inches deep. I have a 4-foot section and an 8-foot section. Underneath here I have a little 2-foot section. I had to actually hand make the beams for that. I bought some 4-footer, cut 2 feet off them. They were the cheapest ones you could get. So I got a microwave stand to keep my batteries under there, and there's a case of Busch Light for the fellas when they come over. I love it. I'm able to store a lot more new parts. I don't have to have stuff stacked on top of each other. I also have a great place to store cleaning supplies. I've got my Armor All collection, glass cleaners, so on and so forth there. Keep track of all the new stuff. Hey, this needs to get put on. Stuff of that nature. New mini fridge, pretty jazzed about that. Got some cold drinks. You can kind of see down here, that's a magnetic strip. Keep bottle openers on there. Had a little get together the other day. Milwaukee radio in the window, time card, whiteboard so we know what needs to be done. The desk area has been invaluable. It's been awesome. We just rebuilt the motor in my dump truck and having like a nice desk area to just sit at and do bookwork on, keep track of things. It's great. Totally in love with what we got here. I'll be adding a few more hooks here and there, but for the most part, I love it. Top shelf, we've got some big totes that we're keeping, you know, like just whatever. There's some like safety vests in one of them CB stuff. Another one is random hard hats I have up there. We have on the desk, we have a place where we keep all the letters and receipts, so on and so forth. And then we keep our battery tools. We'll spin this a little more here. Over on this side here, battery tools, jump pack, whether we're battery jumper, tester, battery carrier. Got some garbage bags and stuff we can store up here, but it's just nice to have all that extra storage. The microwave, sweet deal. I used it to thaw some chicken wings the other day. Worked great. Skid loader here. We're getting to a close of the season when the skid loader is going to actually stay inside. It's not winter anymore. We're not hauling sand around and spreading it for people, so it's really can go stay outside. I like to keep it inside, keep it warm so you don't have to plug it in. That way it's always ready to go. Next up, rotary lift by Rotary. I was in the shop when I bought it. My grandpa put it in, I don't know, 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago. We used to have a really shitty old one. We got this one installed, bolted to the floor. It's been great. It's worked awesome for us. Hasn't killed anybody yet. On the wall over there, we keep some brooms. I got a little decor. I worked on a job site. They threw all the old signs away. So I dug them up, kept them. Hospital 13.6 overhead sign. Some storage for cables and cords and air hoses. I got an air hose reel over there. Then next to it is the cabinet. Cabinet, we keep all of our filters. There's some spare parts in there, but mainly those are just our filter cabinets. Nice little workbench. We keep wood blocks and cribbing underneath it. And right next to it is the parts washer. We'll mosey our way over there. Right here you can see the tool cart right in the center of the shop. It stays there most often. It's easy to work from. And then we have this here seat. Oops, sweet deal. That was the first seat I ever bought for a dump truck. Wore that sucker out. I bet it stinks. I'm a gross person. Sweaty fat ass in a dump truck that doesn't have air conditioning. Nasty. But, you know, it stays nice now because it gets enough dust on it. It's probably sucking the disgusting out of it. I don't know how that works, but I'm no scientist. I just play it on TV. This is on the post of the lift. Got the air reel there. That reel gets used probably more than any other reel in the shop. It's right in the middle. It's central. It reaches almost everywhere. Love it. Then we pan down. We got our basic air tools that we use, blowers and stuff. So what this deal is a Harbor Freight, I believe is where I got it from. And it's got the holding points for putting air tools in. And I took the magnets off it, sliced it in half, and then I had to clearance it a little bit. You can see here for the cable to go through. And then bolted it to the side of there. And all these things hang up out of the way. I ended up cutting it in half, using it in 2 pieces. It works out pretty slick. Get a bit more up close and personal here. Really old vise that my grandpa built. It sits on a big piece of I-beam. I look forward to restoring that. Watch that video in the future. All my cables, cords, reels. We did a little chicken wing cooking the other day. That's still in here. On the outside of my filter cabinet, I like to keep all the filter wrenches, all the common ones, easy to grab. And then we have our parts washer and our oil drain thing. The oil drain deal actually came out of a Peterbilt dealership. It looks like it's two 55-gallon drums, or probably one cut in half. You're getting two. On the end of it over here, there is the regular hole that you could drain out if you needed to. But mostly I try and get stuff just poured right into 5-gallon buckets to begin with. I have a guy who comes and takes it stuff for free. Works out pretty slick. Keep all our drain pans, all our funnels over here. Here's our press. We got that all in good shape now. We just bought air actuated or a pneumatic floor jack, or a pneumatic, was it 20-ton jack, 12-ton jack. So made a little switch for it. We'll get up close and personal in a second. And we pan over a little more here. Those are all full of old used oil. There's a couple of empty ones. Big ladder is there at the moment because I didn't have a better place for it. It used to sit above the racking over here, that the main desk when you walk in. It obviously no longer does. It doesn't fit. A little decor on the wall here. Go up. So this hole in the wall up here that's just patched over is from a big chimney. We used to have a wood stove in this corner. No longer am I cutting wood. It doesn't seem very efficient for me. Hood off a GTO, the Root River Jump of 1982. That's all that's left. Pretty exciting stuff. I wish they would have had YouTube then. Would have got 1 million views watching some guy drop his GTO over the Root River. You can see a little seat, a bomber seat I built on another one of the videos. So another thing you can check out. Here would be my shop press. Little storage on the side. Old bearing housings help push things out. So that works pretty nice. This little switch I got up here is what we use to use the air actuator. It's just an on and off deal. Works pretty slick. It looks like when you order them on Amazon, they look like they're super special electric, and all they are is just an open and close switch. There's no electricity to them at all. So that works pretty nice. You can, it's momentary, or it's not momentary. You can hold it on, or you just flick it back and forth. It's kind of a mess right now, but there's our oil drain station. Usually I just try and pour pans directly into a 5-gallon bucket. Works pretty slick. Let filters drain out before you throw them in the metal scrap bin. Making our way downtown. Walking fast and I'm homebound. No, there's a flammables cabinet. Obviously keep all of our flammable material in there. My snap-on toolbox. I don't really know what it is. This is a 72-inch Epic, I do believe it is. I got a sweet deal on it because it had a paint chip in the bottom. They warrantied it for my buddy. He bought like the King Dick toolbox. I ended up buying this one for a song, and I paid like $4 grand cash for it. Big enough for me. Pretty jazzed about it. We'll maybe do a toolbox tour one of these days. I got this shelf here, runs along. That carries all most of my regular oil, coolant, aerosol cans, things of that nature. Down here, really sweet trash can. You can see some shop decor videos I've done. This is just where this one happens to sit. And then you pan up. We've got some storage for a scraper there. Got to have your obligatory fire extinguisher. And then we do some storage in here. We got a ladder, and we have a couple of shovels. Most of that stuff will end up in the cold storage. All right, my big fab table. Check that sucker out. Got a pink scooter under there, so when I'm trying to get my exercise in, some crates. Right now there's a bunch of electrical stuff on there because we're doing some electrical in the back. We have a large wheel lock nut socket set. We do work on big trucks here, so we got to keep the tools. There's also a large socket set lined up on the wall right next to it here. Wheel sockets above it, and then over next to it is a bunch of hub seal stuff, plugs, caps, covers, gaskets. There's some axle gaskets there too. You never know when you're going to need something like that. Little decor. We got the Milwaukee thing. I got that buddy from my buddy Phil, that's Phil with an N. His brother, not nearly as cool, goes by the name of Joff, and that's Joff with an X. My buddy, another buddy, Jason, that's Jason with a PH, made me this deal, a little flag action, I like that a lot. And my buddy Dan gave me a screaming deal on this Detroit valve cover right about here. That's Dan with a B. No smoking, of course, and then that's our loft. We got a lot of part storage up there. Furnace, 150,000 or 120,000 BTU. I don't remember which one is. Forced air furnace. I wanted to go with the overhead infrared heating deal or whatever tubes, but my furnace guy said not an option. I don't know if that's true, but whatever. So we did the forced air furnace. I guess if I ever want to add air conditioning, I got that going for me, which is nice. Go vise on the heavy fab bench. And over here, this would be what you would consider the southwest corner of the shop. Stairs to go upstairs. Obviously, no stairway to heaven. Denied. We have bolt bins. Most of that's all standard stuff, just your normal sizes. There's a little bit of metric, a little fine thread. Most of the others, any metric stuff is kind of in the back in the parts department, as we call it. 2 bins there. We have cans and floor dry, and then that shelving, the lighter colored shelving right here, which is built into the mezzanine, into the loft, whatever you want to call it. That's got a whole bunch of screws and small bolts and nuts, some abrasives, your self-tappers, and then every kit you see for like O-rings and frickin' pins, this and that. I'm a sucker for that stuff. I buy them up. You put one out, I'm probably going to own it. Grease zerks, nails, etc. All that stuff goes in there. You can see off to the left here, or off to the right, those are yellow bins, house addle clamps or cushion clamps or P-clamps, whatever you want to call them, and a large variety of zip ties. Everything below that and the shelves below it is electrical. There's some wire up here too, but we have 3-wire, 4-wire Arctic grade stuff. I like to use that heavy duty so you don't have to screw around. Some extra hoses go there as well. Original Kaputy ink sign from when this operated as an actual repair shop. Commercial repair shop and not just my personal shop, my business shop for my excavating company. The most amazing bush light sign, well, it's actually just a bush beer sign you've ever seen. It is mine and absolutely not my best friend Tony. That's Tony with a J. It is definitely not his sign. Next to it, I have a wheel dolly for putting on big truck tires. Works pretty sweet, sliding on and off. I'm sure it'd be, oh, you pussy, just use a pry bar, but whatever. Large conduit bender. Then we also keep creepers, pipe clamps, and I have some levels there. We have our large, like 1/2 inch, or is it 1 inch, whatever hose. I think it's 1/2 inch hose for running the big guns off of. There's just one outlet there. The whole shop is piped with steel gas pipe. My grandpa did a hell of a job on doing that. So we don't have PVC or PEX. We don't have to worry about a blowout. The pipe will probably last longer than the shop. And it's at least a 1/2 inch pipe, if not bigger. So there's plenty of air being delivered to that port, and that actually, the port that's right here, and that actually isn't far from the compressor. The compressor is just under the steps. Here we have my pallet racking workbench. I really like this. Pretty sweet deal. It's all the way up. You can see the jib crane I built. Right now I don't have it very organized. It's just kind of whatever's on there has been put on there. Some empty shelves. There's tubes on the top. Random saw, some blades and stuff. My workbench, some steel storage underneath there. Then I keep my welder, my plasma, my stick, heavy cords and cables, some more air hose there, and my rolling 20-ton pneumatic air jack. Works pretty slick. If we pan back to the right here, that is my steel scrap bin. I'll wheel that sucker out in a little bit. It's got some sweet design on it. And then over here we have our jacks. Right behind there you can kind of see it. It's a taller one. That's like a 3-foot tall, I do believe, 20-ton jack. And then we have some bigger jack stand, I should say. And then down here we have the 20-ton shorter version. Working on big trucks, you got to have them. Then you got normal size jack stands and bottle jacks down there. So here's my metal bin. It's on casters, so you can put it wherever. On the end here, I did a little gear stencil. You can see that. And I just overlapped it with a bunch of different colors. Then we got the Banksy Panda on there. A little Jesse James action and my own excavating company sticker, Ole's Excavating. Then we have Van Gogh Starry Night with the Church of Jesse James. We got the pandas hitting another panda, WWF style with a chair. Some more stickers there. And then this end is my masterpiece. Here we have the Sistine Chapel fingers touching with that gear background, gear stencil. Oh, I think I just nailed this. And it's on a skid loader plate, so you just come pick it up with the skid loader, lock it on, and dump it into the back of the truck or into the, I've got a large scrap bin down below. Under the bench, we keep the Daytona floor jack, plus another blue Harbor Freight jack, the aluminum one. Like them both, they work out pretty slick. Down this side of the shop, we have the fabrication box, if you want to call it. I keep all my disposable or all my consumables for welding, all my grinding discs. Their side cabinet holds all welding rods. There's also measuring tools, scribing tools, drill bits, easy outs, all that stuff in there, kind of like the custom tools, if you will, stuff, you know, you break a bolt, you're going in there, that's for sure. Little rolling cart I built. I showed you guys that in a video earlier. I've since added the Harbor Freight toolbox underneath like I was planning on doing. Love it. Have it kind of filled up now with some consumables, some measuring tools, stuff like that. So you just got all the things there. I think we're going to build some shelves on that. I don't know yet. We'll see. Cutoff drill press. We have we have a bench grinder on a stand. We have a cutoff chop saw, and then I have another fab table, if you want to call it, the small vise, and then a fab table. The small fab, or the fab table there is more like a torch table. It's just standing up. We'll get a closer look at it here in a minute. Thinking about getting rid of that and doing another rolling table similar to this one. Maybe just trying to do one with some slats in it so you could cut stuff on top of it. I don't know yet. We're kind of finding out that when you're cutting something, you just kind of clamp it to the table and hang it off, and the sparks hit the ground anyway. It's not like I'm cutting out parts that are 10 feet long. Follow that around. We have the sink. There's a water jack. There's a water hydrant over there. Electrical box. Of course, you would want to have those directly next to each other. Why wouldn't you? Sink, just a wash tub sink, just drains out onto the ground. All we're doing is washing our hands in that anyways. Trash can, got a sweet skull on it. You may have seen that in a video. Obligatory Harbor Freight belt sander, disc grinder combo. Love that thing. Find at times it almost makes the bench grinder obsolete. There's my torch cart to the left there. Above it, the bench grinder, or above the disc grinder, you will see big West Coast Chopper sticker, because I'm a nut for, I'm a Jesse James fanboy, but that is my rag box. The way my system there works, dirty ones get thrown in the very top. You know, they're all clean. Dirty ones get thrown in the top. Once dirty ones start coming out again, it's time to wash them all. Next to it is a hand dryer that came out of a Sam's Club. Big shout out to my buddy Al with a Z. Nailed it on that. In the window, just some hand washing supplies. We keep the tops to the torch tanks, so on and so forth there. First aid kit in the corner there, and then plenty of titty calendars from my good friend Uncle Pockets. His name is Paul. That's Paul with an N. Now we are in what you would consider the southeast corner of the shop. Here's a little closer up view of what we were just looking at. Anvil. Got a roller there so we can feed material into the cutoff saw. That is one of those blades that looks like a wood blade. That's a Diablo 72 tooth. Love it. It's lasted quite a while for me. I'm pretty jazzed about it. Some more cord storage on the wall. Of course, you have the big Kaputy Inc. logo. Probably saw that in a video. Pretty excited about it. Just love that thing. Vise that is into the cement. You can pull that out of there. There's a piece of pipe put into the cement, but you can put whatever you want in there and reef on it, and the vise isn't moving. It's not attached to a table that could maybe move. Like whatever you're using is going to break or bend before that thing does anything. That's some heavy pipe in a deep hole, so it's pretty sweet. Heavy fab table. Bought it at the local surplus store. It is heavy as shit. I think it's 1,600 pounds. It's got a 1-inch top on it. It was a jig for something at some point by the looks of it. Love it. Got a nice big vise. We put some studs, welded some heavy studs, grade 8 studs on there. Put some wheels on the bottom of it, locking casters, and away you go. It's just awesome. There's a bunch of holes in it, the top from the old mounts. I've been thinking about welding them up. I don't know. They've been useful so far, especially if you're trying to hammer something out. They're pretty good. You can check out the floor here. We have a floor drain. The floor slants way too much towards this thing, excessively amount. And that thing doesn't have an out drain, so when it gets full, you have to pump it out. Something I'd like to change. I'd consider even cutting out part of the concrete in here and trying to level this floor up a little better if I had the money laying around. Just dough burning a hole in my pocket. Back here is what we refer to as the parts department. Directly above us is the loft. We have some shelving up there. Here I keep all my Milwaukee battery stuff, so I know where it is. It's on its charges right here. Hose clamps, zip ties, wire, large battery cables, corded tools, specialty tools. You know, there's like a brake flaring kit, sawzall. I have a cordless sawzall too, but just goofy sockets and pullers and such. Down below me here, there's a whole bunch more pullers as well. Vacuum, my cordless vacuum is M18 right here. If you don't have one of these, you're fucking up. Get one of these things. They're handy as shit, especially if you own trucks. Like, people don't want to drag out a cord in a big shop vac to back up a truck. That right there, psh, batteries in it. Oh, I can't get up. I wish I owned two. I should own two. Hey, Milwaukee, send me the new one. I feel like I'm that important. Not. Anyways, parts department. Anybody familiar with asphalt milling has seen these boxes before. My father worked for a large asphalt milling company. He actually started the milling division, was the first foreman, I should say. It's not like he came up with the idea, but the milling division at a large local construction company. And so we ended up with oodles of these boxes. You get the used teeth. The new teeth come in these, the used teeth, and these things are like 20, 30 years old, and they're awesome. They're heavy duty. We keep everything. I got, like for instance, roller chains, springs, spark plugs, roll pins, lug nuts, O-rings, hose clamps, bushings, hooks, clutch alignment tools, brake parts, barred hose unions, you name it. There's got to be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. There's got to be at least 100 of these bins back here. One end is all hydraulic fittings, one end is all lights and stuff like that. It's just awesome to have all that stuff when you're in a pinch. My grandpa used to do a lot more, you know, I don't know what you would call it, cobbling. I hardly say that. He was quite handy. He was a handyman. So he wouldn't be the type of guy that would just go buy something. He would try and make something work. And I try to do that when possible, but a lot of times time is money. Just go buy the right exact part. I don't have time to screw around. But there are times where it's like, I'm in a pinch, I can't get the part for a couple of days. Well, we go back here, we find what we need a lot of times. It could be a little better organized, but most of it is sorted out pretty well. Hanging from here, we have some random stuff. I've got covers for transmissions. New transmissions come, they come with a plastic cover. You're taking it out. Lift blocks, here's a floor plate for a shifter for my dump truck. I've got some snowplow lights. Got some rollers over here for my skid loader. You keep a couple of those on hand. One goes bad, you don't have to wait 3 days, you just change it out. Hydraulic cylinders for snow plows. Rubber boots. Let's see, we've got some electrical stuff. We have more hydraulic cylinders down there. A bunch of air stuff for dump trucks. I have tailgate open, PTO on, so on and so forth. Right here, tire changing tools, big tire changing tools. Moving our way along here. Two-wheel dolly, sweet deal, you love it. Just like your mom, everybody loves your mom. Farther back into the parts department here, more orange boxes, more fittings, hoses. We have a tub of hose, we have a tub of brake parts, air hose, our air compressor. What do we got here? Is it 80 gallon? 80 gallon, hell yeah, what's it? Air, I don't know what the hell it is. It's worked great for us. It's been back here at least 20 years. Changing fluid on it regularly, drain the tank regularly. I had to change out a couple of, what are they called, capacitors. That's not usually my forte, but I needed the shit, so I tackled it. And of course, my superior brain power and skills and pure fucking dumb luck got her figured out. Changed the belts on it too, blew the whole thing off, wiped it down, you know, kind of gave it a real real once over, and that was just last year. So we should get another 20 years of flawless service out of it, almost guaranteed. Bolt cutters. I've got some porta power tools here. You got the chain hook deal for the porta power. Also back here I have all my big heavy jugs of diesel oil and hydraulic oil, 80-90, all that stuff with pumps. That's all back here. Transmission jack. One of the sweetest folding chairs I've ever seen. Look at this thing. Look at it. Just look at it. Bam! Hit you with the red, white, and blue. Oh, glory. Set your ass on that and try not to feel American. You could be from fucking Canada and you'd feel America in that chair. Also on some shelves down here, I got some 30-30 brake pots. I got the mirrors for the truck because I seem to knock one of those off every year. Extra tools and tool holders up over here. I'll do a little pan for you. This is where good tools go to die. Because oh, I want a new set of socket holders. Oh yeah, well, all right, well, they gotta go somewhere. So they go there. Old skill saw. Got some more rubber hose down there. A few jacks for some trailers. Pegboard here. We got some light holders. I like these things right here. Check these guys out. Those work great as templates for a plasma cutter for cutting holes in. Extra remote for my Hinneker, seatbelt extender because I'm fat. We also keep on hand plenty of these guys because I seem to snap those off every year. Those are like a once a year change kind of deal. Pancakes, airbags, just parts on the truck that there are multiple of or that can go bad, they will go bad. So it's like this brake hose is like, what are they, like $8, right? You go to the store, they're like $8, but I got to drive 45 minutes or at least an hour and 15 round trip to go pick one up. Oh, well, I got one, you know, and you get the nice long length. You can make something work until you have to, if you need something shorter. Same with the airbag. My lift axles, I'll use the same up bag, and they use the same, almost made the highlight reel there, and they use the same down bag. So for this one part covers 4 bags. I don't have to go try and find it. On top of that, got a new one with the part number. All my shit's old, so it's nice to have a current part number. Thermostat, which is nice, goes down to 44, so in the winter time it's always 44 degrees in here. You know, the oils, transmission oil, snowplow oil. Got a little sea foam there. Keep our random trailer hitches up here. I think that's going to get sorted out. I've got some stuff on the bottom 2 shelves that hasn't been touched in years. We're going to do something about that in the near future too. Air tanks, cheetah bead seeder, that gets used every once in a while. Antifreeze, carb cleaner, brake clean, penetrating oil, and grease. Just keeping all the stuff you want to keep in bulk that you use on a regular basis wherever you need it. What I'm trying to get done here is everything downstairs is stuff that you would regularly use. Everything upstairs is something that's like, oh, you know you need, but you don't use it very often. So we'll take a look upstairs and see what I got up there. But most of that stuff doesn't get used very often. Very poorly lit upstairs. This shelf here, chainsaws, I have also on the ground here. I got my leaf blower, works good for paving stuff. This shelf just came upstairs. Right now it's just got a bunch of tarps housed on it. There's a whole bunch of old hydraulic equipment in these buckets. Telephone, I don't even know what you call that, shroud from an old payphone. I like it. Eventually going to try and find a use for it somewhere. Gas bag Stingray, had that since I was 12. Pretty jazzed about it. This fan is up here because the heat really stacks upstairs here, and so we turn that on and it shoots it right down at the floor, evens the heat out a good bit. Ooh, a little better lighting. These are all Mustang parts, mostly Fox and SN95 stuff. Got a couple of big wheel spacers here for another project because we're going to put dualies on an old rat rod. Here's the other side, so you better see. Engine stand, some random belts, buckets of chain. We're way over here. Here's a hatch that goes up into the attic. Yeah, where you go smoke crack. Large air pump, just some more random stuff, dash out of a Mustang. This used to be more of the employee lounge, but now that we got the fridge downstairs, I just keep hoarding these old truck seats. They're nice to sit in when you're up here, but We got a place for people to keep boots, coats, shirts. The liquor cabinet over there. Here's our tools where we keep all of our measurement tools. And here's a furnace. Didn't want to start up last season. And I was like, huh, what's going on there? Couldn't hear the blower mower moving. Or the blower, not the actual blower, but the suction motor, whatever the hell you call that, exhauster motor. And there was a bird stuck in it. So then there was a headless bird stuck in it. Caught it. Broke its neck. As you can see, the doors go all the way to the ceiling. We got 14-foot ceilings, and those doors are, what are they, like 20 feet wide? And that's a 10-foot door. Yeah, that makes about sense. The building is a 40 by 48. It's a 9-foot wide door. Those are probably 20 feet. So whatever the distance. The building's a 40 by 48, 40 wide, 48 deep. Kind of the car side here, and then you can see on the ground, we actually have a pit. So there's the pit there is about 5.5 feet deep. It would have been a lot better if it was 6. I would say this here is by far my best purchase. Having an automatic garage door is awesome. You just got the opener in the plow truck or in the skid loader. You don't have to get in and out. In the winter time, you don't let the cold air out, or cold air in. You don't let the warm air out. Oh, it's just beautiful. Last but not least, if you're trying to get dunked on, hit me up, add it in the comments. I want to get dunked on. You will get dunked on. I am 5'11" and a half, 340 pounds, and I will jam it down your throat on that 8-foot hoop. That's going to wrap up the Kaputy shop tour. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, give us a like. If you didn't, give us a dislike. Either way, if you want to see me doing more of my most excellent work, please subscribe, because quality content coming up here, just top notch. Feel free to comment if you think I'm handsome, saw something you liked, you had a question. See you on the next one.